morning and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Veda Castro.
And I'm Gigi Pagel.
This term, the yearbook class saw a drop in enrollment, raising concerns about the workload and the completion of this year's yearbook. We go to Devin Yon with more on the story.
During the fall term, the yearbook class had 36 students in it, but now during the spring, it only has around half of that number of students.
Right now we only have 15. In the fall we had 36, so it was a big adjustment.
The editor-in-chief of the yearbook class, Senior Mia Davis, says that there are some challenges without a full class of students.
It's definitely difficult, but we still come through because we have a good squad with what we have. But yeah, it does have its challenges not having as many people in the class, but we still make it through and we still try our best to make that good book to give to people.
In order to not have an immense amount of work in the spring term, the fall class had to work on more pages in order to stay on track.
Because I knew back in the fall that we weren't going to have as many staff members. And so during the fall, I had a lot of kids doing 5+ pages to make sure that we stayed on track and weren't overwhelmed in the spring.
The spring class doesn't have too much work left to do because of the amount of work the fall class did.
With the content that we have left to gather, there's only about 20 pages left. So everybody will probably get one more page that they have to take care of. So no one is doing like 8 pages right now in the spring to try and get our content in.
The only pages left that still need to go in the yearbook are the spring sports.
So we're waiting until next week when most of those spring sports start practicing for us to be able to gather the content. That's like the biggest section that we are waiting on.
Students can still expect the yearbook near the end of the year.
The yearbook definitely will still come on time. We're submitting the whole thing next month in March, and then we still do plan on having that same arrival date for, I believe it's May.
Thanks, Devin.
The talent show is this Thursday from 6 to 9 in the Patty Baker Theater. And now we go to Joseph Bianchini with sports.
Good morning and welcome to this Tuesday's edition of EOTSN. I'm Joseph Bianchini. Last night, girls soccer, which is the only winter sports team standing, took on Del Campo at home to open up the playoffs. Fortunately, Roseville was able to eke out a 1-0 win and advance to the second round of the playoffs for a second year in a row. Roseville is going to have to take the long trek to Oakdale High School for its quarterfinals matchup tomorrow now. We'll be sure to tweet out the final score of the game on EOT Sports Twitter and have coverage of the game on Friday's broadcast. In other sports news, Tegan Hayes fairly recently announced that she will be taking her athletic talents to the next level. Hayes will be at California Baptist University for cheer, adding yet another person to the list of RHS seniors continuing their athletic careers at college. In other sports news, spring sports are gearing towards a start, and one sport has been putting in some extra preparation ahead of the season. For more, we go over to Sienna Moffitt.
Girls lacrosse was introduced to Roseville as a new sport since last year. The girls lacrosse team has taken an extra step and decided to have preseason practice and conditioning in order to give newer players a better chance to learn the game.
I think they were pretty impactful because we have a lot of new girls joining this year, and some of them have never touched a lacrosse stick or a lacrosse ball or done anything, and so it was just kind of good to get them used to how to play the game and stuff, and we got to practice some throwing drills and catching and shots.
During the preseason practices, the girls have had a better chance to learn more about the game.
I think we have gotten closer because now we're all kind of getting to know each other's names, kind of getting to know each other's playing styles, and I think the more we start to practice together, the more we can become comfortable as a team.
Due to the off-season training, the team will be at an advantage and more prepared to play their game once the season starts.
I think it's really going to make us better players because obviously the more practice time you have, the better you can get the sport and the more comfortable you can become.
Girls lacrosse is hoping that the preseason practices will help them become a better team so they will be ready to play against the other schools.
I think we have a pretty good chance to do well this year. There's a bunch of other schools with new teams, so it'll put us at a more even playing field since we're a pretty new team as well. I think we have a pretty good chance to do well.
Girls lacrosse opens up their season against St. Francis on February 28th. And that's all on your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Joseph. The Super Bowl was this Sunday, and it definitely showed why it's a worldwide show. The game was obviously amazing, being close the whole time and ending with the Chiefs taking the W. Although the ending was disappointing, the game as a whole was entertaining.
And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57!
Rihanna was the star of the halftime show this year and lived up to expectations. It was definitely better than the halftime shows in recent years, with Rihanna's iconic songs and awesome floating stage highlighting the show. Rihanna did great, and what's even more impressive is she did it while pregnant. The commercials were fairly weak this year, but there were a few pretty good ones. I thought the Breaking Bad and Will Ferrell ones were good, and despite having some controversy, I thought the Tubi troll was funny. A major hyped up commercial was the new Prime commercial, but it turned out to be disappointing. It was decent, but it wasn't anything special. A lot of trailers were dropped, and fans were expecting a new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but got a 30-second clip telling fans to go watch it on YouTube. I'm not sure why they did this, but all the movies we got to look at did look great. Overall, this year's Super Bowl was great, and if the commercials were a bit better, it could have been great all around. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Connor.
Here we have an update to this year's Senior Assassin. We go to Brooke Ledang with more.
The Senior Assassin game has been inactive since December. Senior Alana Esparza has information on the long-going game.
So you get a target and you have to try to shoot them with a water gun, and then once you video like that you trying to like shoot them with a water gun, you get their target and then you try and go get them. And you can't get them at school and you can't get them while they're working, but you can get them outside of their work or like outside of their house, and you can't get them when they're like at sports here. But I'm glad like I'm not being hunted anymore, so, but it would be nice if it was like still going because it was fun while it was.
Senior Parker Hellickson has been as active as he can in the game, but there are many problems that make the game frustrating.
Right now I have 5 kills. The game's kind of ran pretty slow, honestly. Honestly, I don't really care who wins at this point. I just want the game to be finished. This, like I said, this game it keeps going. Like last year they didn't have a winner, the year before they didn't have a winner. And at the end of the day, like the person who ever collects the money just kind of takes all the money, and it's just not fair to us who we put $5 in, like give me my $5 back.
He believes the people running Senior Assassin should take action against the inactivity.
Thinking for a plan to do, to change, like to get the game moving is for the people who haven't gotten any kills yet and sat and done nothing. They should be eliminated, and the person who had them should get the kill basically, so the game can keep moving. Because honestly, there was probably 50 people who got eliminated right away, and now there's like 48 people left, and the game is just moving so slow. So.
Thanks, Brooke.
That's it for us today on Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on eyeofthetigernews.com. See you next time.